Hey everyone, my name is Janet. Now let's dim the lights.
Oh, the horror!
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things spooky, uninviting, and downright horrific. As usual, I do not take myself seriously. I really hope that you don't either. I'm just here to provide lighthearted, digestible reviews, and if you are looking for something a little bit more serious, there are YouTube channels that do that. I'm just not one of them. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly apologize for being absent for the past month or so. I don't have a great excuse other than the fact that life was a little bit crazy, birthdays, visitors, yada yada, but also I've been in a bit of a mental rut lately and haven't wanted to be on camera, haven't really wanted to, I don't know, I haven't felt like myself. So it felt wrong to kind of come on here and talk about these things when I wasn't really feeling 100%. So more or less that is why it's taken me a month plus to update with a new video, but I'm back. I still have been updating my letterbox though, so go ahead and follow me on that platform if you haven't already. Go on there and you will still be able to get brand new movie recommendations for this month and the next month. I usually update it with the month that we're in and the upcoming month so that you can really prepare for new releases. Let's hurry up and get back into it because it has been way too long. I kid you not when I say that this is the first movie that I've seen in theaters since I believe Halloween, which was now like a month and a half ago. And if you know me at all, you know that I am at the movie theaters at least once or twice a week. So that kind of shows you how much of a chaotic funk I've been in. I've really missed it. I feel like now that I'm finally getting back into the things that I was doing routinely before all of this mess, I feel more like myself. But I digress. Today we're going to talk about The Menu, which was a fascinating movie. And when I saw Ralph Fiennes and Anya Taylor-Joy on the docket, I kind of knew that it was going to be something unusual. Both of them usually go for pretty eccentric roles, and I was not wrong. The Menu is a 2022 Black comedy written by Seth Rice and Will Tracy that centers around a young couple who score an exclusive invite to a lavish dinner hosted by a renowned chef on a private island. What begins as a sumptuous affair of elite elbow rubbing quickly spirals into a meal that costs more than any of the guests can afford. First impressions, well done. It was so stylized and beautiful to watch, and it's so cleanly paired the chapters of the story with courses of a meal, and it was so cheeky and comedic with each of the transitions. I thought it was great. The Menu felt like a mashup of The Invitation and Chef's Table, which was mentioned in the film. It paid homage to the fine dining industry at the same time that it was parodying the culture surrounding it. And even though this was predominantly a horror film, there was no shortage of attention paid to the menu itself. As someone who loves to cook, I came for the horror, but I was truly mesmerized by the plating and the ingredients and the descriptions of the food and just the passion that Ralph Fiennes' character had for food. It was just, at the end of the day, kind of educational. Speaking of Ralph Fiennes, who is one of my favorite actors, his performance did not disappoint. There's just something so captivating and convincing about him no matter what role he's playing. And in this film, he plays this Michelin-style chef, kind of like a demure Gordon Ramsay. But he was intimidating as fuck. And in these extreme close-ups where he's describing each course, I kind of realized that I would probably buy into his bullshit too. This brings us to Anya Taylor-Joy's role, which I was a lot less enthused by. Not her acting, because I know the girl can act. I remember when I first saw her in the movie Thoroughbreds, and she was stunning in that. I mean, she's like a born and bred horror queen. So if you haven't seen that film, I highly recommend it. I feel like it was her breakout role, at least for me it was. But her role in The Menu was just kind of flat. I feel like they really did her dirty with this one because she just plays the classic rebellious black sheep of the hoity-toity crowd, and there's just no character development there. But either way, I feel like the plot was captivating enough where it didn't really take too much away from the film itself, but I just feel like they could have done a whole lot more with her. I'm gonna backtrack here and go back to my invitation reference. You've probably heard me talk about this film before because it is one of my favorites, but that film centers around an affluent dinner party with some strong culty undertones. And Personally, I see a lot of parallels here between these two movies. Obviously, the style of the two films is vastly different, but the psychological aspect of this film is at the forefront of what makes it so chilling. Movies like this are so fun because you kind of feel like you're on a roller coaster with the characters as the film is unraveling. Going into this, I, as usual, did not do much research because I like to go in pretty clean slated. So I went in with a very strong impression of what it would be, and I walked out of the theater with a very different viewing experience than I was expecting, and I love that. One thing I wasn't really expecting from this film was how satirical it was. I was expecting them to at least take Ralph Fiennes' character pretty seriously as this highfalutin chef, but in reality, it completely poked fun at that arrogant prick celebrity chef archetype and everything that went along with it. Each course is more pretentious and meager than the last, so it gets to a point where there is a bread and dipping plate brought out with no bread. So it's essentially an array of quarter-sized dollops of sauce that everyone's expected to ooh and ah over. And at one point, it's my favorite line of the film. There's two film critics there, and one of them just says, "Well, at least I'll stay in ketosis." It's this whole concept of just buying into anything as long as it's being sold by someone that you think has authority and has taste. Aside from mocking rich fratty tech guys and famous foodies and people who don't let their table mates eat until they've taken the perfect picture of their plate, the film also makes commentaries on other social woes. The menu touches on the folly of men, naming an entire course after this, as well as good versus evil and givers versus takers, and it does all of this with such a great blend of highbrow and crude humor. And if you've seen the film, the s'mores moment is the perfect example of this dichotomy, and it just makes for such a lighthearted, dynamic watch. Okay, so you know that I enjoyed this film, but the ending just did not do it for me. The moment that is meant to turn the tables and kind of bring the film to an end was just not convincing at all to me. It felt like a very scrambled attempt at closure, and honestly, it really cheapened the rest of the film for me. My last note as I was leaving the movie theater was, "Felt like a music video, ? Overall, I give this film a 7 out of 10. It was so well acted, and I do have to give an extra nod to Nicholas Hoult of Skins and Warm Bodies fame, because his character was a laugh riot. And I think that we all kind of have someone in our lives or went to school with someone, we all know someone just like him, and it makes his character so relatable. The Menu is only playing in theaters right now, so make sure you go and check it out. That wraps up my big return episode. I promise I am back. I'm getting my shit together. I will be releasing videos at a regular interval again and bumming around the movie theater as often as I possibly can. So if you've stuck around this long, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked it and you want to subscribe to it. See you next week.